Uh, Hello, Harsha. My name is Din Mohamed Mohamedi, and I'm the HR manager of the company called Tyrian Exploration. So I'll be interviewing you for this interview. And so are you ready to start?
Yes, certainly I'm ready to start.
So Harsha, please tell me shortly about yourself.
My full name is Harshvardhan Gottipati. I'm from Andhra Pradesh, India. I've completed my schooling in India until 12th grade and then did my bachelor's in earth sciences at Singapore Management University and then completed my master's at Greenwich University in London. Where later on moved into working with Kishore Granites for 2 years, so some work experience, and also have done some trainee programs like internships at various oil companies, at two oil companies, at Reliance Energy and Joseph Energies. So I am pretty skilled in negotiation skills, and I think I have very much interest towards the rocks, specifically the granite and marbles. So this is pretty much about me.
Cool. That's interesting. Harsha, please tell me uh, about how long do you work in the industry and why did you decide to choose this field?
I've started working in geologist industry for the past 2 years. I have done some previous internship programs with two other companies, but I've entered the main working style from past 2 years in 2019. Started off working as a trainee geologist at Kishore Granites, which I've done for 2 months, and then promoted off myself to as site manager geologist. And I have pretty much a nice experience in this field, as my grandfather is a senior geologist, from where I've got this interest in geological sciences. So this is pretty much my experience in the industry from what I've started 2 years back. My main job at Kishore Granites was to discover new raw materials and estimate their quality and quantity and validate their features, whether they'll be suitable for the manufacturing process like cutting and polishing. This is what I did for the past 2 years, and I'm really happy about the work I've done.
Mm-hmm. That sounds impressive that you have genetics in the geological field. So please tell me why do you choose what attracts you to our company?
The main reason I was attracted to your company was the number of projects you're doing and the type of projects you're doing, because I wanted to increase my personal skill sets by doing projects in various granite mines which you're going through in Australia, and then some of the coal mines. I'm very much interested in looking forward to gain experience on new types of granite rocks and marble and also coal. I do have some experience with granite, but I would like to enhance it by working with you. And I've seen that Terrain Explorations has put much of its money on research and development rather than production, so that I know that you're going to have more and more, what do we say, more and more resources in the future to explore the company and increase its performance. So this is the main aspect of your company that has attracted me personally.
That sounds impressive. So could you please tell me about your challenges, or problem you have faced in your previous job, and relating to that is, can you tell me about a time where you encountered a challenge and how did you overcome it?
Uh, During the past 2 years where I worked at Kishore Granite, I've experienced a challenge initially when I started off working over there. It's actually my second project with Kishore Granite. It was for me to explore a rock called steel gray, to evaluate it and to discover how the depth of the material in the ground, and to validate whether it's useful for the production of the company or not. So I've faced a problem with the employees below me and the machinery have been given, as Kishore Ganesh does not put much of its resources into research and development, where it focuses on the rather than production. So I've faced problem by training my lower level employees and fixing the older machinery and trying to work with it. So it was very hard for me to work with them. So what I've done was develop the trainees with me by introducing them to various new types of machinery in other companies, and then taking some classes with them and to with the some senior geologists. And I've overcome the problem of machinery by trying to fix it use with the limited amount of resources I had with me. So special thanks to the engineers and other employees who have helped me in fixing the machinery with the low amount of resources that we had in time. So without the help of other employees and proper skill set, I wouldn't have overcome the problem. It was a result of teamwork for me. Yes.
That's impressive what you have done in the past. And can you please tell me, for instance, if it's not a secret, why are you leaving your current job?
There's no secret in me leaving my current job, as I plan to leave that after gaining some experience. I did convey my intentions to the management at Bishop Renai. I have encountered certain problems with them, as I'm not able to personally develop my skills over there. And it is quite hard for me to work in those conditions where I was not being granted certain resources for which are required for research and development, where Kishore Granite's much focused on the production rather than research and development. So it was evident that I would change my company, where I work.
Okay, I understand. So let's move to the skills and abilities. Please tell me, how would you organize geological site maintenance processes?
I would mainly organize the geological sets by creating teams, individual teams of 3 and 4, so that it doesn't create any misunderstandings, so that there is proper coordination and among different teams. It also helps in getting the work done in a faster way, as teams are separated based on what type of work they do. Like some of them are responsible for acquiring spotting the material areas, and some of them are responsible for extracting them, and some of them are responsible for validating these materials. And I would like the help of some of my colleagues to oversee these functionings and to help me properly coordinate the working of between each teams, so that work gets fasterly done and in a safe way. As you know, geological sites are always done in a harsh environment and undiscovered areas. This is how I would organize the geological sites.
Okay, sounds interesting. And would you prefer teaching your new colleague, your new generation, in case of their need?
Yes, I would very much love to teach my new colleagues and new trainees, because it is important in a geological site that the ones working alongside me know the work they do, as it is a very dangerous situation and it won't be safe for me and to them. And I will be responsible for the team I head, for their safety, for the work they do. So I am very much interested in training them if they are if they are underperforming, or rather encouraging them in doing their work and training them by teaching them new techniques and new how to use the new machinery, as geology is always coming up with new machinery to extract the raw materials.
Right. So it is very important for our team and for our company philosophy to teach the younger generation, to help them to grow. And I like the answer. So what will you do in case of some emergency, if something has happened in the geological site, for instance, some breaks and etc.? How would you react in those situations?
The first thing I would do if anything happens in the geological site, which is always a dangerous place to work, is that I would urgently call the emergency services, because we never know what happened and what until and unless we go and oversee the situation. And then the second thing I would do is I would personally do a head count, because it's a vast area and we never know what people are working, where they're working, and where they are, what they're doing. And I would try to put them all together in one place to minimize the risk of uh, any causes or any damages done.
Okay, nice. So let's move forward to the personal qualities of yours. How would you behave in case of a conflict in your team, in your job team?
The first thing that I would be doing is sitting with them and trying to know what the problem is. And I think I'm good at this, because it is one of my strong qualities, negotiation skills. I would try to solve the problem as soon as possible so that it doesn't create any work, it doesn't affect the work balance. Uh, as you know, the field is always dangerous, and we need the support of everyone, and there should be a proper environment and proper relations between each and every employee. Not it doesn't only affect them, but also the entire team. So I would sit with them, try to solve the issue, and then make them realize what they have done, and help them help the others to never ensure there's never these type of situations arise.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. And so let's imagine, how would you organize your teamwork on geological site if you had power to change processes as you wish or you want?
Well, if I had the power to change the processes, I would certainly employ some really skilled people rather than trainees, as and follow proper safety protocols and safety equipment, latest technology, as technology is moving at a faster pace it is in this world. And then I would also make sure to change the coordination style in the environment. I would like to be answerable to the management at headquarters, because the supervisors in the field are only responsible towards reaching the goal, but I am actually responsible for finding out the material which would help the company at the later stages of its later stages. So one thing I would sure do is get new machinery and change the working what do we say working style by reaching out with the top management, functional foremanship, etc.
Right. That sounds interesting. So you have mentioned about your education, but I haven't heard about if you have received any type of certificates, for instance, training certificates or any type.
Yes, I do have received certificates from two companies, Reliance Energy and Joseph Energies, and as I've done internships with them in the field of oil and coal, respectively. I did receive certificates from them, and I received a bachelor's of earth sciences certificate from Singapore Management University, and a master's in geology from Greenwich University in London.
Mm-hmm. Impressive. So let's move to some special requirements. As you know, we need in our working environment, we need strong shaped physical abilities. So could you tell me about your physical side of yours? How often do you work out? In what kind of shape you are right now?
I think it's not much of an importance for someone to work out who works in the field of geology, as the work they do is itself is workout. They would be carrying heavy instruments, heavy equipment, and they would be continuously running and walking and trekking, climbing the mountains, climbing up and down the mountains, trying to discover new areas, undiscovered areas, and using various other machinery. So it is very important for one to be particularly fit in this field, as it requires a lot of what we say, a lot of patience, a lot of energy to do the work, and to not to help out others. And this is pretty much how I view fitness and physical activity in the geology part.
So you wouldn't face any physical issues?
No, I think I
when
would
it comes-
face any physical issues over there, because I'm very much acquainted with the type of work environment I work in, because I've worked for the 2 years in harsh environments.
Okay. Cool. As you know, we take very much care of our team, and our company philosophies is that we take care of each other, and every staff is important to us. And so it's important before start working with us to fully discover yourself. So if it's not a secret to you, could you please tell me if you have any type of work issues or any type of issues when it comes to working conditions?
Yeah, before I get into, I expect a level of transparency between this top level managers and employees and geologists, as I think it is very important for one's motivation to have a proper level of coordination and level of information passed down from the top management. And it shouldn't be very hard in a company to access the top management, to share their ideas, to share their thoughts, to share their experience in the work, to share their limitations, their problems, etc. So I personally think that I expect a work environment where it is free for lower level, top level, and middle level management to reach out with each other, to avoid misconceptions and wrongful decisions, and some ways particularly innovative ideas from the lower level employees, which will be helpful for the company's productivity and increasing its revenue from time to time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm glad to hear that. My question is that, are you open to travels, to any movements?
Yes, I am very much open to travel, as this job requires a lot of travel between countries and different states in the country. Need to discover new materials. I think it interests me a lot to travel, finding new resources, new places, and exploring new machinery in different countries, and working with new people. So I'm very much open to traveling to other places in terms of work.
Yeah, that was very essential that you have mentioned that you are open to explore new places, because as you know, we discover a variety of our land, and it's important for you to appreciate, to love the nature in general, and to not have any cultural barriers when it comes to moving to another place.
Yes.
So my last question, Harsha, would be what motivates you in life?
What motivates me? The main motivation for me is that I have a special interest in rocks when it comes to granite, coal, and marble. I'm very much interested in how it's formed, like the shapes, the color. We never knew what's underneath us. Like you see, there's a blue sapphire, there are diamonds underneath us, there are golds underneath us, there's coal underneath us, which helps us a lot. I'm very much interested in knowing how they're formed and what type of material they are, and how we are going to be able to use that in our day-to-day activities. So the and also another motivation, another important motivation for me is that it comes from my grandfather. It runs in the family, you can say. Um, the work he used to do in front of me motivated a lot. It used to interest me a lot, like always having a toolkit like the hammer and all. It it was really good with surrounding yourself with rocks and all. It is much of a personal and a professional interest, you could say.
Okay. Yeah, I like that you have passion for rocks, and it's important to have passionate workers. So Harsha, that would be it for the interview, for my questions. I appreciate that you have taken your time, your attention, your energy to have an interview with me. Considering all your answers, I'm satisfied. But I will get back to you very shortly with the proper answer, and I will get in contact. I will get in touch with you very soon.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Hoping to hear from you soon.
Yes,
Thank
looking
you.
forward. Bye bye.